Ladies and gentlemen, it's 230th day of the full-scale invasion of Russia, ninth year of war. I'm Andrii Sadovyi. On behalf of the Mediacentru Ukraine team, I would like to welcome all the journalists covering our fight for freedom. For 2 days on end, we've been subjected to a barbaric missile attack launched by the Russian Federation. The statistics for the war: for yesterday, 84 missiles launched against Ukraine, dozens of drones, at least 19 people killed. The Lviv region was one of the main targets of this barbaric attack, which was continued into today. Now I would like to give the floor to the head of Lviv Oblast military administration, Maksym Kozytskyy. Good day, glory to Ukraine, glory to our heroes. Indeed, for 2 days, the country has been under a massive missile attack. Lviv region is no exception. Yesterday, 15 missiles hit Lviv region, 7 of them were downed. Talking of today, dozens of missiles were launched. And as for Lviv, 3 hit target, and the Ukrainian air defenses in Lviv region have shot down 3 missiles. We have 1 person hospitalized with medium gravity injuries. The key hits were the key infrastructure targets. 4 stations of the Ukrainian Ukrinform were hit. 4 were hit yesterday and 2 were hit repeatedly today. Nothing remains of them, to be entirely honest with you. 1,040 settlements were off the grid with no electricity, no water, with severe disruptions of the internet and cell phone provision. 95% of the region this morning were reconnected to the grid, but this doesn't mean that we are all right with the energy supply. To be honest, the 4 substations played a key part in delivering the power to Lviv region, but also for exporting the energy to other countries. They are reduced to the ground. We've been able to restore the energy supply only due to the valiant effort of the teams of Oblast and Ukrinform, because the power stations do not exist any longer. This is all happening under very difficult conditions, so I'm asking people to save energy as much as you can. The lines we've repaired have been broken again today, and again 30% of the Lviv region is off the grid. We will be able to mend the damage and use bypass connections to restore energy and water supply to the city and region. The cell towers cannot operate if they are off-grid. Only the diesel-generated cell powers were able to keep working. Currently, the towers and the substations have been put back into operation, but there will be some disruptions in the cell coverage. Stay strong, we are invincible together, and we shall prevail. Thank you. In the 2 days in Ukraine, 3.5 thousand settlements were off the grid, but Lviv was hit one of the hardest because of the damage and because of the energy that is required. How has the city of Lviv coped with the crisis? I'm giving the floor to Andrii Sadovyi, the mayor of Lviv. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to our heroes. As of yesterday, I was feeling optimistic and very proud, as we've been able to bring back the light to people's home, to bring back the water to people's home. Today, this morning, the electric vehicles were on the routes and the mobile operators were working as normal. The attack, launched a bit more than an hour ago, has brought very serious consequences. The 4 substations in the region have been put out of operation and to bring them back into the operation. Months will be needed. These are transformers that are not available, so it is hard right now to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. We will do all we can for certain so that the medical facilities could continue operating as normal, so that people could buy essentials. We have a week or two to prepare for the winter heaty season in the new context. The enemy has demonstrated its hand. It's going to attack cities and attack all the critical infrastructure facilities in order to intimidate the people. But we know the opposite effect will be achieved. We will show more resolve, more firmness, and more fury to drive them back to taiga. As for the liquidation of the current critical situation, I will be able to give you more information in a couple of hours, as the services are working at all the sites. As the governor was saying, we'll have to think out of the box. Thank God we had procured enough diesel generators ahead of time, and yesterday most of the day the water was supplied with the help of the alternative powering, which is disconnected from Oblenergo. We are now going to mobilize all the powers, all the facilities that we have. Dear colleagues, let me say so today again. We have 6,000 shelters in Lviv, and I urge Lviv residents, all Ukrainians, all shelters should be equipped with a heating station, just a furnace and some firewood. If it's -10 outside, it's going to save us from freezing, as any service needs time. Any repair crew needs a day or 2 or 3. We need to survive. Meanwhile, we need to deprive the enemy of the weapon which is called fear and destruction. They will fail. So I'm asking all the managing company, I'm asking all the household associations, we are all accountable. I have my job cut out for me, the government and the president have their work cut out for them. We all have to make sure our homes are prepared. Often we can use old-time methods. This is the day when we have to resort to them. I would like to thank everyone who has been working hard, the first responders, Lviv Water Company, and everyone else. Do we have any questions from the audience? Please. So considering the situation that developed yesterday and today, and that it was no revelation, and we knew that Russia would try to act like a terrorist, bringing Ukrainians into the cold and dark. How can we prepare better? Were we prepared yesterday for the attack? How prepared were the trade networks? We've seen the energy crews prepared. We've seen the utility crews prepared. But what about the businesses? Do they need to change their operations and change gears? Perhaps. Thank you for the question. Our objective is to sustain the critical services so that people could receive emergency services first and foremost. Considering yesterday, in less than 24 hours, we'll be able to bring back the light, the water, and the cell coverage. Talking about the strikes, these are the heaviest strikes ever sustained by Ukraine in one region. Still, the services have managed brilliantly, in my opinion. Are the businesses prepared equally? Businesses, like people, cannot be prepared for such attacks. We all pray for the better, and this is the right way to do it. But there are times when we'll need to save electricity. There'll be times when we need to turn down our heaters in the home and turn down the temperature in our homes. We have to be prepared for this. Well, we can't say it's good that we came under the attack, but it's good it came before the heating season. It's good that we've tested the services and we'll be able to restore the operation of the critical infrastructure at such a short notice. The governments and the businesses have to brace themselves for the worst ever heating season and perhaps the worst ever period in our country. Andrii Sadovyi, and I would like to give you one simple case. Yesterday, a lot of shops had to close down because they were off the grid. Instead, some kept their doors open as they had diesel generators and they knew they were accountable and they wanted to prevent panic. I'm urging the owners of the trade networks, shopkeepers, to do everything they can to keep the shops open in the periods between the air raids, where surely the shops have to be closed. They have to organize. The bakers have done a brilliant job. They have managed to bake bread and they were selling it from the trucks yesterday when some supermarkets were closed. So today we have to reconsider the way we live. Please think back to the days before the attack. How many residents have taken to shelter? Not that many. Today, I'm certain 90% of people have taken cover. It's a war. We have to be clear on that. The enemy intends to kill people, destroy infrastructure. So we all have to be accountable and do what we need to do. The 2 days have taught us a good lesson, have given us a sense of reality that this war is there to last. And we need to help our army. And to help them, we need to make sure their families and children are safe here so that they could fight for us there. Good day. I have a question. What kind of missile was it? We've talked to the residents living close by the incident site and the people working there. They're saying that this hit was different from the others. It didn't produce a sound. So can you give us any information about the missile? It was a combined strike from the X-101 from the aircraft and from the Black Sea, from the naval vessels, and perhaps an Iskander was also deployed. We are now examining the incident sites and examining the fragments of the missiles that were used to launch the attack. Tell us about the air raid warning system. There were some disruptions in it. Have you delivered a new system? Yesterday, the warning system worked in hybrid mode. We're used to the new warning system, which was equipped in 70 amalgamated community, which has a novel system, which is powered by the battery for 48 hours that can sustain it if it goes off the grid. There are 70 settlements equipped with this novel system in the communities, but not in every village or hamlet. So the new notification system was put into action as well as the older one, the Soviet notification system, as well as there were vehicles with the loudspeakers installed on them that were giving the warning. In 22 districts, the system worked well. There were disruptions in the 2 districts and in the 2 districts of the city of Lviv. What about the city of Lviv? The notification system is up and running. There are vehicles at the ready with the loudspeakers installed should anything out of the ordinary happen. But I was concerned that it was going to be worse, to be honest with you. I have another question about the readiness of the heat and power stations. Do you have a plan for the power outage? the heating power station will not operate without the power supply. This is exactly why the enemy is attacking the power station, to disable the provision of heat to our homes. We'll do more and tell you less. But if we have a heating station in every home, then we can be 100% certain that we'll be safe and warm. We all have to do our part. And one tiny question about the schools. Are they working? And will the decision be made on a weekly basis to study offline? Or the government suggests this week the schools study online. And the same goes for the kindergartens, and there'll be some standby groups. I can give you more details about the city of Lviv. We have a day off today, although all the teachers are there in the schools. And if the parents needed to have someone to look after their kids, they could take them to schools or kindergartens. Today, a decision will be made together. As for tomorrow, I think that every school has to be accountable. If we do it centrally, well, it all depends on the information we'll have as of 4 o'clock about the prospects for the coming days. You know that online is a good thing. Children like it, but it is not very effective for schooling. There is a man injured. He's been working at the critical infrastructure site. His life is not in danger, and his injuries have been treated. And one question about the public transport in Lviv: the trams are standing. They're standing because there's no power in the overhead lines. They cannot move. They even cannot get to the depot. We'll be maximizing the number of buses on the roads. And as of 5, 6 o'clock, we'll have more information about our prospects from the energy professionals. We have to brace ourselves for hard times. We're in for hard weeks and hard months ahead. We will win, despite it all. The nature of the attacks in the region has to give more arguments to designating Russia a terrorist state. Do you have a strategy of the missile attacks on the region? How are you perceiving them? Personnel, I expected as much, that with the coming of the heating season, the critical infrastructure will come under attack. Our objective is to be fully aware of it, keep panic at bay, stay strong together, and urge the West to give us modern air defenses. This is how we can protect our people in the big cities. If there are no further questions, if I may ask you one last question about the emotions you felt. Many were reminded of the 24th of February yesterday, but there were differences because Ukrainians responded very differently, and they raised 100 million hryvnias to support the Ukrainian army, and by 25% reduced the consumption of electricity. How would you assess the way people felt yesterday and how they're feeling now in Lviv city and region? The difference is drastic between the 24th of February and yesterday. Now, people are just feeling angrier and more determined and more unified and more set to help Ukraine win. Well, the residents of Lviv are outraged. We have no fear whatsoever. We just feel steely resolve. When I talk to my colleagues, the mayors of the Ukrainian city, I give them two messages. The first message is that put pressure on your governments so that every country makes the designation of Russia as a terrorist state. A second message is that we need anti-missile equipment, as it will save hundreds and hundreds of lives, and we can prevent the destruction of the infrastructure that we have sustained. Yesterday and today, the repair services are working across the entire country. They're the first subjected to the attack, so we have nothing but victory ahead. Glory to Ukraine. We've talked to Maksym Kozytskyy, head of Lviv Oblast Regional Administration, and Andrii Sadovyi, the mayor of the city of Lviv. We are unbroken. Stand with Ukraine.